Thank you for staying on Joy News, your most credible news source. I'll now take you back to Parliament. There's some news that may excite you. A latest development. Samuel Mbura is there for us. The committee hearing or looking into that alleged plan to oust the IGP is sitting, continuing sitting. Said Samuel Mbura, what's the latest we need to know about the hearing today?
Bernice, what we can say is that we know that earlier the committee intended going in camera on some of the issues, especially with the IGP giving his testimony. But what I have just picked is that portions of the IGP's testimony will be in public. So right in our shots, we have lawyers for the IGP led by Mr. Kwame Jan. We also have the lawyers for Superintendent George Asari, as well as the lawyers for COP Alex Mensah. So we are only left with Buguri Nabo to come and add to the parties interested here. The IGP has not also arrived yet, but what I can say is that Eric Emmanuel Jebi, Superintendent George Asari, COP Alex Mensah, they are here, and the lawyer for the IGP, Kwame Jan, are here. So right in the next 15 minutes, we should have the entire exercise beginning here in Parliament, but we are told not entirely will be in the public domain, but the IGP is expected to give portions of his testimony in public. So you can see that the committee is setting up. The chairman is seated with his vice chairman, Mr. James Agaga, there. So I can say that all is set for the hearing to begin. I just put the microphone to the table as the chairman is about to start the entire process, Bernice.
Samuel Mbura in Parliament for us. Samuel, is it that the IGP is going to be the first to testify?
That we do not know, Bernice. He hasn't arrived himself. We have his lawyers seated here, but the IGP is yet to arrive. So once he arrives, the chairman will decide how it will go, whether they will continue with some of the witnesses that have already arrived before the committee, or is a case that they will start with him. But the opportunity is for him to clear some of the allegations. So right in our shots is Superintendent George Asari with his lawyer, Alfred Papa Dakwa, and they are taking their seats for that to begin. So we don't know yet who will start first. Since the IGP hasn't arrived, we don't know what is keeping him, but some of his officers are also here to support him. I know some of the police management board members. Just a minute ago, I saw the Greater Accra Regional Commander of the Ghana Police Service, Dr. Saibu Gariba, and we understand some of the officers are also coming with the IGP, Akufu Dampari. So in the next 10 minutes, we should have the committee starting the proceedings, the public hearing of this probe into the leaked tape that was plotting to remove the IGP.
Samuel, I would just allow you to settle in and also ensure that we are ready when the testimonies are being shared eventually. But if you just joined us, the latest is that we will have portions of the IGP's testimony made public. Initially, we were told that this was going to be an in-camera hearing, but we are just learning of the latest development. You saw the witnesses, those who've already started speaking, appear before. But let's take you back to some of the highlights of the earlier testimonies that we heard. Let's hear from COP Alexander Mensah first.
Because the audio, which I've just listened, is edited. One, there's a likelihood that somebody can fake my voice. But I can't confirm, because I don't have that technical system to confirm it.
Is there any flow of conversation on this tape that you, in true humility, will say that nobody is faking my voice? Or it is the entire tape that you want to say that somebody is trying to, fake your voice?
The chairman, not the entire. Honorable Chair, I will not deny that fact today, tomorrow, or the next day. I will make that statement again. That the current Inspector General of Police is not managing the police service well. It's something I will not run away from. I will say it everywhere, anywhere that I go. And you can do your own investigations, call police officers underground, and find out from them.
So you just had COP Alexander Mensah when he appeared before Parliament's ad hoc committee much earlier. He is in Parliament today. Hopefully we'll hear from him again. But what it is that we'll be hearing from the other witnesses as well, plus the IGP, according to the chairman of the ad hoc committee, Samuel Atachia. There have been some grave allegations made against him, for which reason he's been invited to clear his name. We understand that there also will be some cross-examinations as well. But let's take you back while we wait for the session to start today to some of the highlights of the testimonies we've heard already. Superintendent George Asari.
Later, upon further inquiries, remember I'm a policeman. For investigations, I'm very smart. But that side, when we meet in camera, you will know who did the recording, who was sent by who, and on what promise to who. You will get it when we meet in camera. I have an IGP on tape. Everything he came to say here, on video, in his office, the same office. His relationship with IGP and contracts, 40,000 boots contract.
So that's an interesting one. We'd like to hear the response of the IGP and Mr. Bugri Nabu himself. So you know this all started with Mr. Bugri Nabu making his side of whatever transpired known, and then we heard from the officers involved, and it's getting interesting as the hearing proceeds or continues. So much later today, hopefully, when the IGP and Mr. Bugri Nabu appear, we'll also hear what they have to say about this latest one. So what we're trying to do now is to bring you a recap of some of the very interesting statements that were made by COP Alexander Mensah and Superintendent George Asari. And we can hear from Mr. Bugri Nabu now when he appeared.
On the same, going to see President for them to appoint that commissioner Asari, somebody brought him to the office with him. Then I didn't want to take it serious. The NDC presidential candidate has also assured him that he will retain him if he should come to power. Secondly, he gives slot to NDC presidential man, and even the late vice wife, they all get slot. They said when they are going to do recruit, they give your mama 300 slot. And the vice president wife, the late vice president wife, they give them 50 slot. That's what they said. I called Mr. Asari. I called him and asked him, who sent the tip into public domain? And he banged the phone on me. Then I called him again. Then he refused to talk to me. But rather, he sent a word through my son that would deal with me. That threatened me.
Let me take you to Parliament now because the IGP, George Akuffo-Dampare, has arrived in Parliament. As you may be aware, there's an ongoing hearing into an alleged tape which details a plan to get him out of office. We've heard from persons involved or persons who were heard in that tape. They have also made further allegations against the IGP when they appeared before the ad hoc committee. But we understand now that the IGP, George Akuffo-Dampare, has arrived in Parliament. We were expecting that the hearing would have started by now. I'm not too sure what's causing the delay, but we should be receiving some correspondence from our man on the ground, Samuel Imbura, shortly on what exactly is causing this delay. Imbura, hello. We understand that IGP has arrived. Should we expect hearing anytime soon?
Yes, Bennett, I can confirm that the IGP has arrived with his entourage. He came with most members of the Police Management Board. He also came with his deputy, who we refer to the IGP too, and then other top hierarchy members of the Ghana Police Service. So the various directors in charge of the Ghana Police Service are also here. I've just seen the director for the Police Professional Standards Bureau, COP Media Donko. I've also seen those who are in charge of recruitment at the headquarters, and a host of them, they have arrived here at the Parliament, and the IGP is heading towards the conference hall where this particular hearing is ongoing. So he was the main person the committee was waiting for. So he has arrived, and then we do expect that as he has arrived, the committee will start the hearing. When he arrived, he has his officers lining up to welcome him with some salutes there. So at the moment, I can say that the IGP is before the committee for this probe to kickstart.
Right, and Samuel, initially we were not told by the committee who was going to be first to appear or speak. Do we have that information now?
That hasn't been determined yet, Bernice. As it is seated, that the committee chair will decide who to start with. We have 3 of the witnesses present, including Dr. Akuffo-Dampare. Bugri Nabo is not here. That explanation hasn't been given. So it's after the IGP is seated that we can now tell who is the first person to begin the probe. But what I can say is that all is set for the entire exercise to begin.
Right. So as you can see in your shots, IGP George Akuffo-Dampare has arrived in Parliament. And from what I see, he's about to take the witness seat. He has paid his respects to the committee. So we should be hearing from the chairman shortly, and proceedings should begin any time from now. So you can follow us on social media as well. This is live there, and also on our Joy News channel. So what you're seeing earlier was earlier videos of when COP Mensah and Superintendent George Asare arrived in Parliament. They arrived much earlier. The IGP just arrived, I'm told, by Samuel Imbura, who is a man on the ground, that he was the man the House was waiting for. And so he's seated now. You see that in your shots. And we should be hearing from the chairman of the committee, Samuel Atachia, any moment from now. And as you can see, the pressmen are just trying to arrange to ensure that, you know, you get the very best when it comes to our coverage.